it's the morning of January 6th. We're back in here at the Public Land River Unit this morning, but it's super cold. It was -3 when we left town this morning. I don't know if we're smart or stupid, but we're here. Either way. The snow's on. It's really cool looking in this spot. Got lots of deer in here. Greg's got his muzzleloader up in his stand with him, and I got the musket with me. First one that comes within 30-40 yards of this tree this morning is gonna, at the very least, get a cat popped at him. This is my first morning sit of the late season. The food sources in the evenings just haven't been paying off for us. Seems like all the deer been pressured pretty hard through the first 2 shotgun seasons, and they just will not feed in those open ag food sources during daylight, because that's where most of the hunting pressure's been. And Greg was hunting this bedding area last night and saw lots of deer activity. In fact, he saw quite a few deer browsing on these locust pods right up underneath the stand. I'm sure by the time those deer got out to the ag fields it was well after dark, but we're far enough back in here. Seems to be the tactic that works best for us on public is hunting the bedding. Greg, right here. Coming down the hill.
All right, I see him. All right. Look at that. Big old doe. That's awesome. Well, as you can see, finally had some success out here with the old musket. And Zach and I were out yesterday trying to track some deer in this snow, and we were able to come up on some, just not get a good solid shot opportunity. But at the same time, while we were out, Greg was down here scouting this other location from a distance, and he watched about a dozen deer come up through this little hedge and honey locust thicket right here where he's got a tree stand located. So he wanted to come back in early this morning, and we both got up in the tree before daylight with our muzzle loaders, just figuring that these deer would be coming back in here to bed. We've been saying it all along, we haven't had success on public land hunting the traditional ag food sources or food plots during late season. And Greg actually saw these deer come through last night feeding on honey locust pods in this little bottom. And it's a spot that it's several bedding areas come together. It's secluded, very little hunting pressure back in here. And this is really the area that we target all year on public land, are these bedding areas that are way back in here where very few people go. And it's no different during the late season right here. We got it settled in the stand and saw several deer. Before we had Zach come through, we'd actually organized a little deer push this morning with Zach before we came out to hunt. We told Zach to come out about 8:30, 9 o'clock and just wind bump these bedding areas towards the stand in case we hadn't killed one by that time. And he started walking down through there, and these deer came through because they likely smelled him up at the head of the bedding area. He wasn't trying to spook them hard. He wasn't trying to spook them by sight or sound. He was just trying to lightly push them out of the bedding area by letting his scent drift through there. And it worked absolutely perfect. They came right down through here, right on the trail that Greg hung the stand for, and was able to give me a good, clean 25-yard ethical shot. Hit her right in the heart, it looks like, or just above it. And she only went about 30 yards and piled up, but pretty cool hunt altogether. We've been talking about this wind bumping tactic throughout the season and thinking that it would work good out here on public land, especially during gun seasons after these deer have had a lot of pressure. It seems like late season, especially after you've had gun seasons come through, the deer are on pins and needles everywhere they go, and it's understandable because they've been getting pushed around and shot at for the past month or so. So coming in here to these bedding areas, the last place where they feel comfortable moving during daylight, and using that wind bumping tactic is what paid off on this old nanny doe here. But pretty neat to finally get a tag filled with the old musket. This is my first deer that I've shot with a gun in a really long time, since my teenage years. So pretty cool to get one with it. And we're finishing the season. This is our last day in the field for the 2016-2017 season. We started it as a team, and we're going to end it as a team, because I hope Greg and Zach will help me pull this fat doe out of here.